Libra, this is your weekly reading, sun, moon, rising, and I really like to apply it to Venus. I'm going to be looking at the energy around you and either a person's situation. And what I'm going to look at is like the current new energies. And then I want to see what energies you would both be bringing into what energies you're both be bringing into an exchange with the situation or person, and also the alchemy that the two energies create will form the center line of the 9-card spread. And lastly, I'm going to be looking at, that's crazy, Gemini just got the same card in the same exact place. Maybe you're dealing with a Gemini, and that's a great match actually. And then the last line is, what do you both bring? What do you learn? Because everything is about the destination is not a person or a relationship. It is about what you discover about yourself so that you can get to the place of like feeling you can get to the place of feeling at peace and satiation with like higher self, happy self, authentic self. Okay. So I do Friday night tarot every Friday, 7:30. It's live, 7:30 Eastern on Soul Navigation, which is also like my job. Not that this isn't my job, but I do my consults and everything there. So Libra has had, I do all 12 signs and it's live. So like, please come and join the shenanigans. And there's 2 weekly contests. And this week I'm giving away like 30-minute free reading, which is a big deal. They had like an okay read, and then they had a rough read that like, I've never said cards came out and I was like, I don't wanna, and I was live. Not that I would ever mar the integrity of what because I'm just a conduit of what the message is, but I really did not want to read those cards. And the next week there was a little movement in the right direction. So I was happy for that. This week, I really like your cards, Libra. Okay. I'm just going to say one quick thing about Libra. One of the things like we all know about Libra and blah, blah, blah. Libra is also supposed to be balanced, supposed to be a connector. That's a big burden to feel like you have to be the balance and the connector in the room all the time. And the other thing is that like, if you have a Libra sun, or you have a lot of Libra energy because your sun is in the 7th house, you're probably somebody who puts others before yourself. When you have a heavy chart on the between like the 9th and the 4th houses, that's somebody who really is here to learn how to put themselves first, because you already put others first. That's natural for you, and that's Libran energy as well. Your person is having a rough time. And for a lot of you, that's been going on, and you've been trying to like save somebody who would rather kind of, I don't want to say weaponize their pain, but like they don't know how to move out of it. And they've like grown to see their like wounds as friends, so that like, that's the energy for why they don't do stuff, if that makes any sense. I know that sounds harsh, but like they've so acclimated to navigating their life in that kind of anger and pain that pulling themselves out is almost terrifying, because it means learning to live life a completely different way than they ever have. You may be exiting that situation. But let's look at everything and we'll do clarifiers and see advice from the universe. So you have the World card, starting the reading. Now that is for your side, and I want to see, you know, what the current energy is. There's a cycle that's almost over. And what's interesting, and the reason that I mentioned the Friday night thing, is that that has been a repeated pattern for Libra. So I don't know if Libra is just going through it in general, but it's been a theme for Libra that there's a cycle that's almost over and that there's movement, but you might possibly still trying to save the situation because you really care about other people. In the alchemy between the two energies, what the current energy is now, it's the Hierophant in reverse. So I don't know if this is somebody that you have like legal ties to. It could be a marriage, but it also could just be somebody you're living with, somebody that you're in partnership with. Also, this possibly is not romantic. And I'm only saying that because of these cards. And what I might do is give two different situations, if it's romantic and if it's not romantic. I'm kind of almost hoping it's not, and then pull cards for the second set of people where it's not romantic to see what's also happening in love. There, because it looks like there's something, and there's a couple Hierophant cards. The Hierophant also came out in the first row in Gemini's reading, but that is not a happy. That is, yeah, that's in trouble. And that's like the Hierophant upside down is either a rejection of something that was legal, or it's the ending of something that was legal, or it can be like the rejection of it can be the rejection of like higher self. It can be the rejection of spiritual, because the Hierophant is also like the high priestess in some ways of its enlightenment. So this could be also somebody who's just like, I'm not doing that. On their side, they have the Knight of Wands in reverse. Knight of Wands for me, if you've ever watched my tarot, is the panty dropper, sometimes a love bomber. They are rushing in with passion. For me, the Knight of Wands is somebody who's rushing in before they know what else they're going to offer, but they got that on board. It is in reverse as well. All of their cards are in reverse. And sometimes there are cards I want to see in reverse. These, not so much. God, I hope you win the divine reading this week on the live, because I would really like, keep saying I really want to do one for Libra, and then the all 12 signs a little quicker check-in. The Queen of Wands, the Knight of Wands in reverse could be somebody who came in and pulled back. I think you have somebody new though. What I see you bringing into in exchange is Ace of Cups, which is like an offer, a new start in love. It's not a message of love. It's like a new start, an offer from universe. So you can see the little hand coming out of the clouds. It's universe bringing somebody in, and then we have the Six of Swords, which is leaving smooth waters for choppy waters, but also taking yourself with you. So like, if you keep trying to fix people, you are going to find somebody else to fix. And it's fine. We're all broken in one way or another. Like, nobody's perfect, but it's just not, you have to know it's not your job. Your job, if you love somebody, is to create an environment where they can heal themselves and be supportive without judgment when they are, because that doesn't ever look like tied up neat in a bow for anyone. And usually the more severe the behaviors, addictions, blah, 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 it's because the more severe the trauma was that they're healing from. So then to not give them even if they're having a good moment and you think, okay, that's what it looks like from now on. That's unrealistic and it's not fair to them. So you want to, you always want to make room for them to have slide backs. And if you don't want to make room to, then pick somebody with less stuff to heal. You know, and I know that we don't really pick our heart picks, but you're not responsible for fixing them. And if you keep going in thinking that's your responsibility, that's your own, even though they have self-sabotaging behaviors, that's your own self-sabotaging behavior. It's also very Cancerian. I get it. So there's no judgment with it. It's just awareness, right? But I see you kind of like leaving the other situation. And for a few of you, this is something else that's good and loving coming in that you're ignoring, and you're going back to the situation that pulled back from you. I hope it's the first, not the latter. Queen of Wands on their side for what they're bringing in, but it's in reverse. This is, Queen of Wands is not just about passion. She's a doer. She gets stuff done. She follows through on what she says. She's very powerful. This is like Leo, Aries, Sagittarius energy of like powerful, little empressy. The Queen of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles together, for me, is my, they are my mini Empress cards. And the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Swords together are mini High Priestess. So she's very, very powerful. She's in reverse. It could be two things. One, it could be somebody just like I'm not doing anymore. I'm pulling back all my passion. I'm pulling back all like that I was doing the work and I'm not doing it anymore. So for some of you, that's a new person who you really are starting to fall for, and they are just unimpressed with life, not with you. They're probably letting you in a little bit, but they're just not going to do the most. They're at that place. They understand their power to some degree. And again, this is just for a few of you, but they're in that place where they're like, I'm going to do the least and see who really wants it. And of course, these could be switched. That could be you. Because Libra is always kind of doing the most. So you could be at the place where you're like, I'm going to do the least and see who really wants it because I'm just tired of being the one all the time. So for some of you, that is the new love. For some of you, that's still you walking away from somebody who's like, I'm not participating in the relationship anymore. You'll have to leave because I'm not going to participate and I'm not leaving. But I feel like this is also someone that you want to help because they're kind of not in their power right now. And you know how dynamic and electric and like the energy that drew you in is now dimmed, and you kind of want to like flip that switch for them again because you care. So you apply that, you'll know who you are. That last row, and you're both wanting to like just leave whatever it is that it feels hard. And so that's a good thing that you're both on the same page as far as leaving garbage behind and going into like leaving the choppy and going into the smoother waters. Again, what I always say about that card, literally Gemini just had it in the same place, is to always be mindful of that. Like those swords come with you, your relationship habits and how you speak to others, how you exchange, how you interpret their words, how you deliver yours. That's all coming with you. So it's something to be mindful of. And to me, this is a card also of bringing awareness of how you do relationships while you're leaving one and going into another. And it could be that you're just leaving this situation and going into smoother waters. Could be some time for yourself to recoup. I don't think that's it. In this reading, it doesn't look like it. It doesn't feel like it. It's not what I'm hearing. But so just be careful as you're leaving one thing for another, that you're bringing your relationship habits with you. It's not that you're bringing you with you everywhere you go. I know that's a thing, that's a saying. But that also sounds like there's something wrong with you. There's not anything wrong with you. It's just that we develop habits and, trauma response, communication styles, all that's developed over time in our lives, right? So just being aware that that's something that you're bringing with you, and that it's something to have mindfulness of, that you want to examine for yourself, just for your own happiness and your own peace. Now, this last row, let me, because these readings are new on my channel, so for me, it's never the destination of the person or the relationship. It's the destination of what are you supposed to discover about yourself, so you can just constantly be growing and becoming somebody who's really peaceful with themselves. And so whether it lasts 2 years or 20 years, there's always something that we get out of exchanges with other situations, relationships. And so that's what I'm really interested in seeing for you, because the comfort is, if it doesn't last forever, if it's not your forever person, it's going to bring you a little bit closer to being in that place where you attract in what you actually deserve. That could be a forever. I have the Queen of Cups. Now, if this was in your person, I would say maybe you're dealing with a water sign, but this is you. Queen of Cups is intuitive, and Libra is so intuitive. People sleep on how psychic Libra can be. You can tell the sun is setting because like everything just went yellow on me. Libra, people sleep on how very psychic Libra can be. And this is your intuition. You are going to come into your intuition and into the open heart. It's really hard sometimes for Libra because they want to be they want to be very open-hearted and very giving and very loving, because they're about others, right? The sign is about the balance and making sure everyone's okay. But they're also an air sign. They're also very cerebral. And so, I always say that like Libra is the water sign of the air signs. And so this cup to me is very fitting. But what's super beautiful is what you learn about yourself, is that you can create a space where you can be cerebral and be loving, and also tap into that intuition and trust yourself. You're probably all sick of me saying that, but trusting yourself is one of the biggest vehicles to healing and being okay with yourself. It's when we let everyone else's opinions of us and everyone's Google review of us make us decide our worth, which is so tied to happiness, peace, satiation of your soul. And you're learning not to do that. And you have there's a big growth spurt here in trusting yourself and your intuition. So that part I really like. Now, that can happen. Again, that third row is to show you how you're the core of you, your higher self, all of that integrates, and how you benefit from this exchange, whether it's forever or not. They have the Magician in reverse, which I don't like. A lot of times the Magician in the reverse is the manipulator instead of the manifester. For me, that's usually the card. That's also after they feel really burned. So while you're trusting yourself, I would say, and while this other new love may be coming in, I would just say the current person, be careful, because if you do your Six of Swords and you move away for smoother waters, I think that they will try to manipulate you emotionally. They will weaponize the best of you to try to get you to come back. But I don't know if it's to come back to actually do it. If I would see something in the Queen of Wands and the Knight of Wands in reverse, don't tell me that they are, if this is the person you're with now, that is ending. This does not show me somebody who in earnest wants to put effort in. This actually shows me somebody who has zero intention of putting effort in. If it's your new person, the other way the Magician upside down reads for me is somebody who's given up on the idea that they have any control over life, that they don't have any power, which would also correlate with that Queen of Wands in reverse. They have some healing to do. That doesn't mean they're good or bad, and energy changes, and obviously like next week that could change. But it's interesting. And that doesn't, cards that don't read like they're the most amazing person in the world right in this moment does not also negate the idea that it's not something that can last. There's things that have to be worked through, aren't there always? The energy and alchemy the two of you bring together is this Seven of Pentacles is the card of waiting. And my favorite thing about, that's not my favorite thing about this deck. There's so many. This is one of my favorite decks. It's the Modern Witches Tarot. But I always say that Seven of Pentacles is the card of waiting. And this one, it quite frankly shows like, okay, I always say like, where's my stick-on tattoos from like, I ate the Cracker Jacks. Where's my prize? This is somebody who like did the work, is now going to like stare. This is somebody who like watches the paint as it dries, is waiting for the water to boil. It's in reverse, which I like. So I think this is about both of you learning to live in the now and also not feeling like you're waiting for the prize in the Cracker Jack box. You have just a gorgeous glow up spiritually, emotionally. I really, really like it. They're struggling a little bit. Let's get a shadow work card to see, maybe normally it's so hard because I really kind of in this instance want to pull it for your person, and I apologize that the light is getting so wonky. Violet, you're turning violet. Instead, I'm turning in like Oompa Loompa orange because the sunset. It's pretty on the outside. It's just it's messing with our lighting. I normally take a shadow card for you because it's all of this reading is for you, right? It's not, we don't want to concentrate on the other person too much. Okay. And for the people that this might be business, this is somebody that like came in really passionate. Let's do this and that and the other thing. Yeah. Okay. So this is really interesting because I just said I really want to just still do, I know this is going long, the sun's setting, but I really want to do like a full read for you. And I feel like for some of you, just for a handful of you, this is business. And this is somebody that you got into a legal situation with in business. And they were like, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And we're like, this is going to be so great. And then it just wasn't. And now they're manipulating because they're having a really hard time being truthful. And I don't think that they are somebody, I don't think they mean to be a jerk. And I think they probably had good intentions when they came in with all these ideas, but you're ending up doing the work. And I don't see that changing. So I asked for 2 shadow cards and I got get creative. Whoever you are, Libra, you are the one who actually has more of the, if this is a business situation, you're actually the one with the value of what can be produced. Whether that's like you're doing stuff on Etsy and it's somebody was like, oh, we'll sell it on, I'll help you and we'll do this and we'll do that. And it's just been a nightmare. I feel like you're the one bringing the actual product to the table, even if the product is not a physical product. The other thing is I have the Sage. Again, you have a huge glow up. You have a huge enlightenment, awakening. You're like sitting and it feels so beautiful. And there's going to be a wisdom about you that you are going to understand that's really going to help you detach from attachment that makes you feel like whether you're succeeding or failing. You're going to detach from the attachment of what others think of you and what others do in a relationship. No matter how much you give, you're going to detach the attachment to that being a judgment on yourself. And that's big. If this is business, just get out, but expect them to be a little grimy on the way out. If this is business, I just want to pull for those of them who are business, and for a few of you, this is family that you tried to do something with. Hierophant again, but this time it was in the upright. So for some of you, you might be dealing, you might see a Taurus coming in, and if they are, oh, that just came in strong. Can I get one more? Okay, yeah. So you're gonna have the Ace of Inspiration, which is the Ace of Wands. It's a lot of passion. They are smart. You might have a verbose Taurus coming in for you with a lot of passion. They may be a very brilliant person. They may be a little earthy and enlightened, but also like they can turn a good phrase, like in other words, like but they can turn a good phrase in all situations. Like if they wanted to quit their job tomorrow and go work for like an 800 number, they would do just fine. Whoever this is gonna like talk your jaws off. There's no other way to say it. And let's just get advice from universe. Which one do I want to use? This one. Make sure you do go over Friday night and watch the tarot. We're giving away the 30-minute. And obviously there's a weekly contest. And the way you win the contest, the way that you, I'm really channeling your reading and not thinking about that stuff. But the way that you win the contest is you go comment on last week's video for the divine read, which is the one that says something about full moon. And then, or you could show up, which is really great because messages tend to be more specific, or you could show up at 7:30 and get and comment your sign, and that there's two groups that can win. So this is really amazing. Remember how I said there's like a huge movement in your growth, in your spiritual enlightenment, and your emotional. You're somebody who possibly grew up with anger, but like in the house, but it says resolving anger issues, which is really beautiful. Conflict reminds me when I need more space for myself. And transforming tragedy. Loss is my reminder that more room has been made for greater gifts to be. So the loss of whatever this is, even if it's the money, if it's business or a marriage, it's making room for this Ace of Cups. It's making room for you to be the Queen of Cups on your own, which is great because then you bring that into every relationship. That's your communication style. That's amazing and intuitive. I actually really like this for you, Libra. I will see you next week. Make sure you press all the buttons, like and subscribe. I know I'm supposed to say that all the time, but I forget because I'm about the message. I'm just a messenger. And I will see you guys Friday on soul navigation, and all the links that you could need for appointments or where to find stuff on YouTube are in the description box. All right. Bye. I love you. Know you love you.